So we watched the Paris is Burning video in class, and I thought it was specifically interesting to me because it really showed how much people in the LGBTQ plus community like have had to conform almost, like, so that they don't get like harmed by other people or and stuff like that, and how like when they go into these like when they have these drag queen shows and stuff like that, they really feel that like they can express themselves and really be who they are, and they find little communities within, you know, parts of at least New York City where they can like really be themselves. I also thought it was cool because I'm actually from New York. I'm not from the city, I'm from upstate, but I've been to the city many times because it's, you know, only a few hour drive from me. And like I've seen like, you know, people who are dressed in like these amazing like all the feathers and stuff like that, like they were displaying in the documentary, and I just think it's like it's so like I love how like extravagant it is, and I just think it's so cool. But yeah, so I actually looked up when this was filmed because I don't remember what it said, and I was honestly expecting it was like 1960, 70, but it said it was filmed in the late 1980s, which I think is super interesting because I assumed it was filmed a little earlier because of like how much these drag queens and, you know, people of the LGBTQ plus community had to go through. I didn't like, it was kind of eye-opening to me that, you know, it was only like 30 years ago when there was all of this like oppression and all these issues and like the whole AIDS epidemic. Like I thought, like in my head, I don't know if it sounds stupid, but I thought that was like a lot earlier, and like I guess it's just taken a long time for us to really like accept people of the LGBTQ plus community more and like accept people for their other cultures. And of course we still have so much to work on, but yeah, that was just kind of shocking for me. I really liked how in the video, like it followed different voices of different people and how everyone has a different story, and like it really like touched my heart when it like talked about how they had to like create their own families, like their own like community and like group of people, and they like had their own family name and everything because of how they weren't accepted in their own households, and that's like still very much relevant today. I personally am not a part of the LGBTQ plus community. However, I can imagine how much oppression they must face, especially based off that video. Like, it's so sad, you know, because if you think about it, everyone is just trying to be their true selves, and the fact that in the video they had to like suppress who they are because of heteronormativity, and like how like they just were like struggling so much with their identity and stuff because they didn't have like any resources besides like other people who were going through the same thing. I don't know, it just makes me feel like sad. And I'm so happy that the people that in that video have like are in the documentary that have like finally like been able to kind of express themselves for who they are. It took like so long and such a long journey for them to be able to do that. I actually remembered a comment that you made at the end of class which really stuck with me when you said that it's sad because you can imagine a lot of the people in the documentary ended up dying of AIDS like after that was filmed. And so I looked it up, and it says that 330,000 gay and bisexual men with stage 3 HIV, which is AIDS, have died since the 1980s. And like, I don't know, that just like is so sad because not only do they face all the oppression of not being cisgendered and not, you know, they kept using the term normal, like, on top of that, everyone's looking at them differently because of the AIDS epidemic, and that just must have added so much to everything they were already going through with their own self-identity. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is the concept of intersectionality displayed throughout the documentary. I found it particularly interesting how each particular person went through their own kind of discrimination. And then it was almost like the farther you are from a cis white man, the more discrimination you face. Like, if you're like a black drag queen, you know, then you kind of get two things that people are just hating on you for absolutely no reason, just for, you know, trying to express yourself. And I thought that was really interesting to think about how, like, the more you, like, act like yourself, if you're part of a discriminatory section, kind of, for lack of a better word, the more you have to really work to, like, just be yourself and do your own thing without being hated on by other people. So I think that kind of wraps it up. Mostly the film is just trying to inspire people to be themselves unapologetically, and if people don't like it, that sucks.